Preview.
Hi YouTube, welcome back to Vchannel. Today we will talk about a flagship which is so hot at the time, attract attention of community all around the world so much, and the launch day is so near. That's it, the flagship DJI Mavic 3. To be honest, this product can be launched last year. However, because of COVID-19, it's delayed until now. Mavic 3 will be the top flagship of Mavic generation, replaced Mavic 2 was launched in April 2018. Via basic information high ability, DJI will launch two versions. That's it. Mavic 3 Pro with big image sensor come from Hasselblad, and Mavic 3 Zoom with optical zoom function. This is the top of Mavic, so it will focus on the customer who need really high video or image quality, professional quality studio. Right here we have some leak image, have the arm-like inspire. However, like the last leak of other recent generation, this is just Photoshop product. Mavic 3 will still have the design similar Mavic 2 and the arm like Mavic 2, not have any inspired generation design. Next, we have a leak video, believe that is Mavic 3. It have add two vision position sensor to avoid upward obstacle. Look really clear, but last information told that this is not Mavic 3 as well. This is Mavic Air 2 prototype. Maybe it will Mavic Air 3, let's see next year. And like the leak time of new product recent year, like Mavic Air 2, Mini 2, DJI FPV, around the launch day, there are many leak information. And after leak information, DJI will launch the product officially soon. Mavic 3 high ability similar, and the other signals show that the launch day will show soon. That is the price of Mavic 2 is dropped significantly, dropped up to 150 bucks, and we will have the more exact information than the previous leak. That is the blueprints of Mavic 3 is registered. It will bring better appearance, more exactly, and we have the full arm like Mavic 2. Besides, on the head you can see we have number 10. It's one more IR obstacle avoidance sensor, but not so have weird design like the previous clip. This sensor will have the drone determine obstacle, and the battery will redesign. The most clearly that it will have the light rearranged instead of around the power button. Right now it will strand like this. Hope that Mavic 3 have better flight time. Although Mavic 2 is very good, the official information from the lab is 31 minutes. In the real flight, 27 to 28 minutes. Next, we had information about LiDAR. This is the modern sensor which equipped on the premium products recent day. For example, iPhone 12. And in license document, we cannot see anything relating to LiDAR. Hope that DJI will equip. This is so elite to have the drone determine 3D environment, determine obstacle with exact level really high. Actually, the information about LiDAR is so clear, not sure that they will equip or not. But we have the preview more exact information about obstacle avoidance sensor, that is Mavic 3 will have up to 10 sensors. Include 4 fixed side color camera. It will upgrade the exact level, analyze 3D environment significantly better, and will support by machine vision with the 24-core processor, dual AI. It will help to avoid obstacles so good, fly through small hole, much more intelligent algorithm, and it can auto return home even without GPS by machine vision, sensor, and better processor. Talk about obstacle avoidance, Skydio 2 elite the market at this term. With the incredible technology by use 6 3D camera, it can analyze, predict the rule, it can fly even so complicated environment like this. This is also the pressure for DJI to upgrade their obstacle avoidance system, and in detail, upgrade sensor, processor, both of quality and quantity. Next is camera. With the leak image, we can see it's very similar what DJI register. It will have really large well camera and belong to some news. DJI will continue to use sensor from Sweden famous company Hasselblad, and in particular that's its L2D 20C sensor. However, in Mavic 3, instead of aperture open to 2.8, in Mavic 2, Mavic 3 can open up to f2. That means Mavic 3 Pro can record video in low light environment much better. The camera upgrading of Mavic 3 is really necessary at this time because some reason like this. Firstly, DJI launched Mavic Air 2 with so impressive camera, and even there are some features better than Mavic 2 Pro. That's it, Mavic Air 2 allowed to record up to 4K 60 frames per second and bitrate reach to 120 megabit per second, while Mavic 2 Pro just 4K 30 frames per second and bitrate only 100 megabit per second. Although the image sensor of Mavic Air 2 smaller, but in terms of this number like bitrate, frame rate, Mavic 2 Pro lower than Mavic Air 2. So in particular, the customer need record slow motion 4K. The Mavic 2 Pro is lower apparently, and 100 megabit per second is lower than 120 megabit per second as well. So the flagship of Mavic must be upgraded higher than Mavic Air 2. That's it, the first reason. The second reason, that's it, the another pressure from competitor. That's it, Wholesale with Evo 2. With 48 megapixel image sensor, Evo 2 can record up to 8K resolution at 25 frames per second and at 4K. Very high frame rate, that's a 60 frames per second. And the next information, that's it, as CES Umbrella, a processor manufacturer for DJI, announced CV5. This is so strong processor generation. Allow the drone can record up to 8K 60 frames per second and 4K up to 240 frames per second. Unbelievable. Although DJI's not use only processor from Umbrella, they also use from OnWinner, and in particular is OnWinner X6 on Mavic Air 2. But finally, DJI decided to equip Umbrella CV for Mavic 3. High ability Mavic 3 can have a video with impressive quality lead the market segment, higher or at least same the competitor. And high ability 8K will help in Mavic 3. The frame rates at 4K absolutely at least 60 frames per second and maybe higher, maybe 120 frames per second. And surely it will have Air 2 65, 10-bit with bitrate up to 120 megabit per second. Because CV5 come from Umbrella is very strong. It's produced on 5 nanometer technology, so elite. The speed is so high and it have another pros, that it save power. With 8K 30 frames per second, it just use 2 watts, and with very high quality 8K 60 frames per second, it just use near 5 watts. It will help Mavic 3 use less power, lengthen flight time. If equipped so strong processor like CV5, it will help the drone avoid obstacles better, more clever, more exact as well. Mavic 3 also should help Ascend, which exists on premium generations such as Inspire on DJI. With this function, Mavic 3 can get ADS-B signal from the airplane, helicopter, from very far distance, semi. It will protect even human on airplane and even the drone. That's a human value. And surely it will have the function on Mavic Air 2 such as POI 3.0, ActiveTrack 3.0 instead of 2.0 on like Mavic 2. With ActiveTrack 3.0, to be honest, it was outstanding better than 2.0. Although ActiveTrack 2.0 have pretty good recognition ability, it can interpolate when subject high under the tree like this. However, ActiveTrack 3.0 is really better. The ability to recognize wrong subject like ActiveTrack 2.0 rarely happen. It's recognized very exact. Secondly, in the situation the subject high and reappear, it can catch smoothly, not so hard like this. And ActiveTrack 3.0 we equip on Mavic 3 absolutely sure. Another upgrading, that's the Sync. will upgrade to 3.0. First of all, it will give very low latency, just 28 milliseconds. Secondly, the distance will up to 10 km in theory, and the bitrate will up to 60 megabit per second. Don't know that appearance of remote controller is different or not. It will like the recent generation like Mavic Air 2, Mavic Mini 2 or not, but ability is will upgrade it surely. Long distance, much more stable, less delay, smoother, sharper at video, and maybe still have the screen like Mavic 2. Okay, we will continue until the official information from DJI and the launch day. Vchannel will continue to send to you next information. Thanks for watching. If you see the clip helpful, don't hesitate to click like, share, and can subscribe my channel. See you next clip. Bye bye, see you next time.